been growing in popularity. Bring today, but again, it's gonna be up to Nice Gaming to really just put them down in their place on this first map.
Yeah, and I think both teams are actually ready to start this match up so far. And oh, okay, we have an issue. Oh, okay, okay, we have a lot of issues.
Yeah, it will take just a moment longer to get us into game. Don't panic, don't go anywhere. We shouldn't be more than another minute or so. But I mean, I think another important thing when looking at Chalet is some of these bans that teams can bring into play. I mean, you got a couple ways that teams like to hold onto specifically that top floor on Chalet, but you'll see the same thing ring true of the bar site as well as that kitchen and dining, which is that you'll see a lot of deployable shields be brought. Wombi, give me your thoughts. Jaeger or Mai, is that going to be something we're seeing littered throughout this matchup? What can you really do to get around that?
Um, I see it actually on Chalet, mysteriously enough, and I because well, I'm gonna say it. I see a lot of Kahi bans on Chalet, whether that be in comp play or in ranked. And
Yeah.
the reason why it's mysterious to me is because a lot of teams, the main thing about Kaid is his ability to Kaid hatches and his ability to counter those hatch breaches, because if you have a Kaid, it's almost impossible for the attacking team to be able to get the hatches. I mean, we're ready for the matchup, but like I was gonna continue on with my point. It's impossible for the attacking team to get those hatches unless the floor is soft or unless you have a Thatcher, and almost always a Thatcher is gonna be banned. But we
Yeah.
are gonna head into the first map, which is actually Chalet, and the bans are coming out. I want to get your opinion on this. I want to know what type of ban should we uh, be looking forward to here on Chalet.
I think the Thatcher is going to be the first thing to go. Nice Gaming probably don't want to have to deal with it, and it makes a lot of sense. At this point in Siege's kind of the current era of Siege is you get rid of this Thatcher, and that's kind of been a mainstay since bans have come in because, well, he gives you a lot of flexibility as an attacking a lineup in the sense that his EMPs are a very flexible gadget to have. They shut down all forms of electronics for 10 seconds. That's going to catch out those the electro claws. That's going to catch out those bandit batteries, but more importantly, just other tools that you might have lying around. If an ADS gets caught by that, that's going to prevent any of those grenades being picked up by Jaeger. Flores, though, this is another very popular ban on Chalet, and it's one that I'm really liking to see, or that has been paired with a Wamai, which I think is going to be a little bit interesting to see how Hyferion5 deal with this, because the idea of removing that Flores is, like I mentioned before, you want to be playing around these deployable shields in very comfortable positions. The iconic ones, I think you'll agree with me on this one, 1B, you're looking at the top of those ivy stairs where you'd have the Jaeger put the ADSs down, the Wamai chuck up the magnets, and you're also looking at that piano. Flores can jump through a window, get those drones on, and remove those positions. But removing that Wamai works against that now, where it's going to be a little bit easier to clear them anyway. What's your thoughts on the mirror ban here, though, just to seal the deal?
Mirror is actually common. I think it's surprising to see because we talked about Jaeger and Omai being banned together a lot of the times, but Mirror is actually banned a lot on Chalet as well, and it's because, well, the main point of Mirror is to have extra like line of sights, as well as being able to have that security behind a mirror where the enemy team can't see you but you can see them, and it's also the opportunity with the mirrors that you can line up your shots with them while also not being seen by the enemy team. Mira in general is just so popular, not only because of her black mirrors, but also because of her kit. She has a good gun, she has a nitro cells, and she has a shotgun secondary, which is used to make rotates a lot of the time. So I I see why people are I could see why they banned her. She is
Attackers need
very
to
powerful
locate and
on a
defuse
map
as
like
many
Chalet,
bombs
on
as they
any
can.
site actually. This is like I talk about how bad Kaid is on Chalet if you don't mainly play basement. I mean, he could be good on offense as well, but uh
Yeah.
you know, Mira is actually very good on almost every single site if you use the right operators and pair her up with the, certain operators that can support her and help her gadget be useful in a way. But I mean, we get, we get an average lineup coming in from Nice Gaming, with well, not average pick of Goyo. So I mean, I want your opinions on that. I mean, the shields are very powerful on a map like Chalet. I see him commonly picked on Chalet actually, but I don't know. Like I don't know if they think. Okay, look, you see that Wami coming in from the Jaeger of Usar, and it's not gonna grab anyone just yet. But it's an early bit of an aggression from him though. So I mean, Jaeger's trying to get a pick or two here.
Yeah, Gecko gonna get the better of him in that counter, and that's the first pick gone. Thankfully, though, the ADSs that Jaeger has are still going to be effective in the round as Joker able to pick up Stizzy. And, well, that's your only real form of hard breach. No hard breach gadgets being brought in the pocket of that buck, which is going to make this clear a lot harder when it comes to the later round, because you no longer have that way to break through the wall on the mezzanine. A big information tool here is going to be that Valkyrie, and, well, that's Autumn able to pick up the Thunderbird elsewhere, despite Prophet being injured. His team should be able to come and recover him here. But it looks like Garen downstairs is going to be the next form of engagement here as Gecko walking around, isn't quite prepared for the gunfight, hits the shot anyway, and that's going to be a 4v2 situation now as another Fool's Joker trying to run back inside, caught out. He's injured, not yet removed from play, but, well, the smoke is an effective 1v4, the information on him, they know exactly where they need to look. How's he going to get out of this one?
These angles are gonna work not in his favor, but that gunfight does. He grabs a nice headshot on the Prophet. A nade comes his way as well, and it's gonna take off a little bit of damage. He's gonna make. Whoa, no! It's a team kill coming out from Divine. He grabs Finka, his own teammate of Gecko, and it's now a 1v2 or 4v1 turned into a 1v2. And BMY is in this situation.
Yeah, the Yana Gemini there, that's the information that they need. They just need to push together, and they have plenty of time to make this work. A minute still on the clock. He's going to be careful of the aggression. He's going to get the first injury. He's going to peek for the kill as well, and that makes it a triple. Maybe fall back and try and recover one of these Kona stations, but no. Instead, choosing to play off this is deployable shield on the piano. This is a really powerful spot. If I think that Nomad knows. Nomad has the critical information. Crossing behind the desk, behind the chair, going to be covered. BMY! You win the clutch for your team in the first round of play. That is a wonderful start for the smoke. I don't know how they could not finish that one. Hyferion, you were in a 4 versus 1 situation.
Gosh, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, sorry about that. My mom came in, and while I was in the middle of casting that wonderful 1v4 clutch, which I didn't know was clutch until just recently when I just looked at my computer screen, and I really want to claw my eyes out for Hyferion5 because that was absolutely horrible from them. My mom came into my room, so I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to, just stop talking in the middle of that, but I mean, what a throw. I don't know
Yeah.
what to say.
Yeah, I mean, pitch invasions happen in sports. They can happen in esports too. There's nothing changes this from being the spectacle of similar proportions. But I mean, BMY in that position just played it so smartly. He used the toxic babes to provide line of sight denial to cover his angles when he crossed from that doorway, just in case there was another one on that ego balcony after finding that first kill. And I mean, you got him so much credit for his positioning and that performance in that 1v4, because when you have so many potential angles to be afraid of, just knowing which one to pick, it's that intuition that some players just have, and the ability to stay cool and calm in that situation is what separates those good smoke players from those truly great ones. And I mean, that is a wonderful start for Nice Gaming here, because on Chalet, a lot of the time the attackers can take real good control. We saw it in that round. The early aggression from Hyferion, despite losing Stizzy early on, they still had the ways of finding these frags and roamers. They just can't allow themselves for this to become a regular pattern where they falter at the last hurdle.
Yeah, another thing about that round is also the team kill. I mean, it was a nice shot on that piano window from BMY from Massive Israel. That was gonna be his kill, like 110%. But what shouldn't have been his kill was when he swinged on that office wall from half wall, looking into library hallway. That shouldn't have been his kill because 2 players were aiming at him, but apparently one of the other players' gun just happened to snap onto his own teammate. And they also in that fight they also lost their Finka in the midst of that team kill, and the Finka is very crucial for those well, in those type of situations where you're trying to push one player because the Finka charges, the adrenaline surges give you confidence to push into those gunfights. And once that team kill happened, not only did were those adrenaline surges taken away, but also the confidence to keep on going because I'm pretty sure that team kill just tilted the hell out of them. But first pick comes in for Hyferion5. I'm not too sure who got that pick, but it is on that player, BMY, who's on that smoke player, and it's a bit careless from him, getting taken
Bomb
care
located
of
by
so early
attackers.
on because he's the smoke player. You don't want your smoke getting picked so early on.
Yeah, and that obviously doesn't put a little bit more pressure on the rest of Nice Gaming as well. Only Joker currently has a kill between the rest of the four alive, but this can be their time to shine as they're waiting for this push from Profit. The trade comes through. It's not a complete trade, however, as the Inja will be there, but Stizzy now making his way into sight. Going to throw that grenade into stock to prevent that angle being put through. Gecko finding two. That's the Aruni and the Castle who just picked up their compatriot inside of sight. Garen now playing on
Attackers
this
are
Ivy
activating
stairs.
the bomb
The
diffuser.
plant's gone down though. 4 versus 2 once again. Please don't choke twice. Make it the 4 versus 1. Autumn holding upstairs to the Jaeger down, and Garen gonna have to pull out some magical plays to make this one come to fruition. I don't think it's quite gonna last. 30 seconds to find this diffuser and find the remaining 4, but the window angles are just so difficult to fight against that honestly I don't think we're gonna be able to see it happen.
You know what? I'm gonna talk about this setup in a little bit, but this clutch is gonna be made impossible, and it's made impossible because he's also potatoed a little bit of Gecko, and Gecko is able to turn that whiff from Garen into a kill for himself, and that is the round for Hyferion5. Hyferion5 lost the first round, in very goofy fashion, but they grabbed this one in a very structured manner. The one thing that I said I wanted to talk about the site setup. I'm wondering why they did not reinforce pantry wall leading onto main stairs. That I don't especially if they're not having a deep roam into basement to cover those stairs. Why is that soft? Maybe it was a little bit of miscommunication of where the reinforcements would go. But that wall right there with as little map control as they had is a bit awkward on their side.
Yeah, I think sometimes teams will want to keep that as an emergency rotate option, but like you say, you've spotted it as something that can be exposed, and Prophet did the same thing, able to find that early kill on a smoke who clearly thought he was
Defenders,
much
protect your
safer than
bombs
he
from
really
being
was.
defused by
And
attackers.
it's these small little misplays that you've got to be very careful of when it comes to your defenses, especially on Chalet, which can be opened and abused as much as it can by the attackers.
Attackers have
They're going to
discovered the
come back to it
location of a
again, though.
bomb.
And I think that is something that they will be a little bit aware of. I believe we just saw the Thunderbird secure that wall, just making sure that the smoke will be a little bit more comfortable. We'll have to wait and see if that's actually how things have panned out here. Yep, it is. So, with no ranged hard reach on the table, that should stay
10
fairly
seconds remaining.
snug, so fairly comfortable for BMY to keep going about his smoking business.
5
But
seconds left.
meanwhile, you're looking at this upstairs room. It wasn't really addressed at all by
Attackers
Hyferion5. The
objective
only
is to
pressure they
defuse the
had
bomb.
upstairs was the repel from Autumn on that library window, which they used to shut down any potential angles down through the hatch inside of library. Whether this change in the pantry wall no longer being exposed means that they're forced to take a little bit more of this control downstairs, or above, sorry, I should say. So they're just spotting 2 members downstairs in the basement. They want to be very careful of this. Don't want to get caught out too early on. Profit, once again, this is an angle for approach. I think this might be a recurring pattern through the rest of this map.
Yeah. I think when Hyferion5 have played Dallas before, you see the first point of contact is actually between the Finka and Niruni. Husar and Gecko coming into complete contact with one another. You have a player on this garage wall, but you also have a player in support of the Aruni in the tease, but he's gonna miss a couple of key shots, and Prophet is actually gonna grab the first pick of the game, and that's part of that basement roam crippled, and it looks like Hyferion5 have complete control of garage is first point of contact again, not first point of contact, second point of contact between Husar and Gecko. Husar hitting some good, well, not good shot, but whiffing a little bit, and Gecko's left a little bit tagged from that gunfight.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be interesting to see how, these finger charges that they have, only 2 remaining, are going to buff up the health bars a little bit more, but great use from Stizzy's blowtorch here. Just he knows that he can just about slip the bottom of that line, and using that once again to put BMY in a little bit of a precarious spot. Garen, though, is going to be the deal breaker here. Can he find them on this staircase if they're not being careful because, well, that Vector in close range is an absolute monster of a weapon. But with Stizzy no longer there, it's just Prophet downstairs in the basement now, waiting for this angle to be useful again, waiting for that final push. But Autumn now on this window upstairs, he's just doing the same thing he did last time, waiting patiently for his team to push in downstairs. You can hear that laser gate getting burned out. Joker on this angle, which he used in the first round for a little bit of a cheeky aggressive play. Will he get caught out again? No, the damage of the Stizzy is immense. He's going to take a hefty chunk. Instead, he's going to get that plant down, get in position. Joker sneaking up, sees the Nomad on the window, finds the first. The air jab saves him, but the plant gets denied by it as well. That is an unfortunate circumstance. Just the pattern of play there was not ideal, but instead Gecko and Autumn left in the 2 versus 3 now. This should be okay for Nice Gaming to be able to seal the deal. They should be able to see this one home if they can just hold on tight. They can hear one shooting in through that doorway into main lobby. The shots from Huzar not able to quite land. The door frame getting in the way just a little bit. Joker now on a little bit of a swing, tries to find the shots. The trade comes through. He's going to be down. Autumn. The other side of the map, this pickup should be able to happen, but it looks like Nice Gaming instead know that the time is dwindling, know that that's what they need to play, just waiting for this attack to push in, but you pushed him 1v1, Huzar! And the plant's going to be going down, BMY going to drop to position, then surely Yana knows where this is. They both have the interior location, but Autumn on the swing, able to see things through by Hyferion5, a choke of a round. Both teams not quite in the prime positions here to see through what advantages they have and just hold on tight. What was going on there in the final dying seconds?
I don't even know. It's just a lot of careless things happening from Nice Gaming. They choked that round exactly how Hyferion5 did it, and that's, well, I don't want to. Was it kind of similar? I don't know, but like giving the player the last player alive, giving that last player alive their ones
Yeah.
and losing them. In any competitive league, doesn't matter what tier 4, tier 3, tier 2, whatever. I say this a lot. These players are at the same level that you are. In terms of gun skill, in terms of movement, etc., etc. And in that case, Autumn is going to win those gunfights 9 times out of 10, especially with the ARX in hand. When those players are pushing him, he's not gonna miss those shots because he has the same type of gun skill that all of these players have, and it's odd to see them push that. Not as a team, but like as individuals, because that's how you lose those 1v X's. But I mean, Autumn, I don't think I've said enough praises for him. He's been really decent this season. He's one of the best fraggers in Talent League. Along with, well, I don't know if Hunter is still on Blue Jays or what was known as Blue Jays anymore, but Autumn is a really good fragger, and he showed it right there. He can win those gunfights, and it's just, I don't know what I'm saying, but it's a bit odd to see that happen, to see them do that, like to just push it one by one. And it's just not,
Yeah.
I mean, coming to this round, we're on in the office bedroom, and I don't really see any changes between these two teams. I mean, I see the Valkyrie coming out from Nice Gaming, and I wonder how that's going to tell for the intel game that they play. And I mean, that's a kill coming out from, well, Prophet, and then another kill coming out from a tease. And like I said, I wonder, well, the Valkyrie's dead now, but I wonder how that intel will come into a play for this round at least.
Yeah, you do lose that Nitro Cell, which paired with those black-eye cameras, which must have been influential in some of these rounds, helping the defenders find out some of that information. Tease, though, just keeps on going. He's not going to give up this position on Ivy, spraying through all these walls, trying to take people on with a spear. Has to be very careful of that angle, but Gecko walking up behind him, the camera was on. Was there a misinformation of just the information not getting relayed properly? I don't quite know how that Thinker able to walk up into that position without being caught unaware. Either way, though, that's going to be an unfortunate way to lose that spear 1 versus 1. Gecko now trying to give that little bit of a boost to Stizzy and Divine and the rest of his team, as they're just looking now to move this library control into opening up the main breach. Drop those air jabs on the Nomad to be able to push back any assault that the defense are going to throw at you whilst you open up the breach. And you can see Divine here just holding onto this angle, making sure no one's getting too aggressive, but a wonderful shot from BMY. That's exactly what you were looking for, and he sees the head of Stizzy too. Can't quite make that one connect. But the advantage now very much in the favor of this defense. You've still got a Nitro Cell on the board, but a perfectly timed frag grenade is going to completely change that situation around. Huzar and Garen now have to hold the line in the 2 versus 2.
Yes, now Gecko and Stizzy versus the duo of Fuzar and Garen. And it's yet to be seen which duo is gonna come out on top. Stizzy has this diffuser in hand, but he doesn't have a clear passageway into sight. The only thing he has that's like a, well, not a passageway, but just a sight into sight is
A
actually
bomb has
these
been located.
magic poles that he has, and also if they could probably open up as well a little bit more, but they can't because the buck is dead, so they can't really like open a hole into the softwall that we're looking at from Who's Our Screen. But I mean, I got 20 seconds left to work with, so there's no thinking to really be had here. The
15
swing is gonna
seconds
come in from
remaining.
Who's Our, but Gecko should try and get this kill here. He has the better gun, and
10
he is
seconds
gonna be
left.
the better player. And it's
Time to
now
drop the
left
bomb
up to
diffuser.
Garen in the 1v2, now 1v1,
5 seconds
as
left.
that's the fuser down, and he's gonna bring out the Nitro Cell. And he's going to down Mafinka actually, but he doesn't know about it because the
Operators,
blinks
you
are
have run
off.
out of time.
And he could have, the Fika actually could have revived himself because that's actually a new future with Fika, but unfortunately didn't have enough time to do so. And that is the round for Nice Gaming. This is turning out to be a very competitive matchup. And I mean, Chalet is attacker sided through and through. So it's a wonder as to how Hyferion5, especially after the 1v4 choke that they had, aren't up by more.
Yeah, it's... It's so strange to think about in this sort of situation, because you do look at it, realistically, this should be a 3-1 for the attack. And at a 3-1 for the attack, you're thinking, okay, this is somewhat good. But just that double change-up where both teams kind of stumbled a little bit, that's what brings this into such a close series. And I mean, we're going to keep on seeing that come through. A very similar lineup being run once again, but I'm astonished how many of these, how that
Defenders,
last round
protect
just
your
came
bombs from
down
being
to the
defused by
wire. And
attackers.
I have to say, I couldn't. I stopped breathing for a
Attackers
second. I
have
skipped the
located a
heart,
bomb.
skipped the beat. When I saw Garen just go for that engagement onto the Finker instead of just trying to fall back or maybe trying to hide. Either way, it works out for them. Now they are going to get to return to this trophy site. They haven't won it out either time. They somehow haven't quite been able to put the pieces together to make this one work for them. How do they change it? What is the mistake that they're making back to back? Because it was twice in a row that they lost there. What is the change that you need to see to feel comfortable in their hold of this site?
5
The
seconds
second
left
time
before
they
insertion.
actually defended this site, it was pretty decent up until the 1v3
Attackers' objective
situation
is to
slash
defuse the
1v2
bomb.
because I think
Yep.
Huzar or whoever that was on, not Huzar, it was actually Joker, I think, on the
Yeah.
Jaeger who got down, and then it was left up into a 1v2, and then the two players just charged at Autumn, or one of them did, and then it left one of them into the 1v1, and then
Yeah.
it's just a hot mess. But I mean, I don't really have any thoughts as to how they could play this better, because Chalet is unfortunately one of those maps where it's just like the defense has to pray to kind of when it comes to getting themselves into these like gunfights that they're in with the attackers, because Chalet is a very open map. It's not a very small, well, it is a kind of small map, and that's why it's so attacker sided. It's because it's rare. Almost any position could be readily available to the attackers, and it's one of those things where Nice Gaming just have to, when they get into these gunfights, when they get into these engagements, they have to not be as taken aback and taken off guard by these engagements, and be prepared for them as much as possible. And then also when these first engagements they get themselves in, because I think Hyferion5 have gotten the first pick almost every single round, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Whereas
I think so.
yeah,
If
whereas for Nice Gaming it's just
yeah.
not going that way.
Yeah, they definitely do have the advantage in this kind of early aggressive play, and while we're seeing it once again, Huzar no longer BMY in that position, but the Jaeger can take a hefty chunk of damage there. The double Kona station will bring him back to a hefty chunk, but still not an ideal way to open up this round. Stizzy then puts in the work. That's a frag grenade, and following that, using the gun there, the MP4, to find yet another. I don't know how the MP4, the M4. Don't know how that's quite working out for them. You shouldn't be able to find 2 kills that quickly, especially onto that smoke once again. BMY had a fantastic first round, but a little bit quiet since then. Either way, though, this is a lovely start for Hyferion5. Another round in which they find that opening kill, like we were talking about. But who's waiting underneath the window,
Attackers dropped the
just
diffuser.
crouching there. They know that this is the window they're going to go for. Finds the freebie onto Stizzy, falls back to the bomb chassis inside of sight. And, well, just going to wait out the time here as Autumn falls the Joker off sight as well. This is the start of it now. Nice gaming. Oh, the shot from Garen upstairs. He has the angle covered. Huzar didn't have to worry. Now Gecko finds him through the same angle that he got shot at early in the round. This is a little bit sloppy from them now, but with 27 seconds left, the attack have to make a move. They're looking for the angle, but Joker, he's ready for it. He's waiting. He takes the vine. The information going to be relayed as that Black Eye gets shot down. They know he's at the bottom of this blue
15
stairs.
seconds
As the
remaining.
frag grenade, another camera going to give more information away. 13 seconds left on the round. Can't shoot the shield. You're going to have to push him towards that site. You know Joker's on the hatch above you. You're going to have to try and find a way to get to the diffuser, try and get it down. But it's 5 seconds on the clock. There just isn't enough time to make it work. Recovers the diffuser though, putting it down in a slightly unorthodox position, but just has to wait out the timer. Joker dropping through the hatch will seal the deal on the round. And well, they've broken the curse. They didn't choke the round. They saw it through on Bar Gaming, and that puts them 3-2 up in this half.
Those when they get into those gunfights, they did the opposite of what happened in those last two rounds, and that's when they get into those gunfights, they're actually putting themselves in an advantage because they get those kills after the first pick, and then after that it seems like Hyferion5 find like two or three picks like right after that, and then Nice Gaming are stuck in like a 2v4, 2v3 situation when they were just in like a 4v3. But they're going to go to kitchen dining, and actually this is the first time that we see this site, and it's going to be the last time that we see this site from Nice Gaming at least, because we're going to, after this round, they're going to go and rotate onto the attack. And that's a little bit not odd, but a little bit strange. Well, strange and odd are the same
Defenders,
word,
protect
but
your bombs from
it
being
is a little
defused
bit
by
odd to
attackers.
see this site come out for the first time, because
Attackers have
kitchen and
located a
dining is
bomb.
actually a pretty common pick in comp play. Not so much in like ranked play, but comp play, yes, it is because, well, I don't really know the advantages and disadvantages of this site because I don't really play it that much, and also I just don't know this site very well. But I just know that a lot of comp teams do pick this site at a lot of the times, and I don't really understand why.
I think a
10
big
seconds to
part of
insertion.
why teams want to play this site is because it's a
5
similar.
seconds
I'm
left.
trying to find a good comparison here. Think of
Attackers
like a
objective
meeting
is to
hold
defuse the
on
bomb.
Oregon.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be the best way I can describe it. Is that a lot of the times you're playing that meeting hold on Oregon, the way you hold it is you hold above. You're holding Attic, you're holding that Kid Storms, and it's like playing a slightly wonky version of that site. Master Games, Master Office upstairs on Chalet is very popular. Teams know how to play it, they feel very comfortable. This has a similar sort of essence to it, where you have a little bit less to invest upstairs, but once you lose it, it's all about stalling that time because you will lose it. You then just fall back and play that backwards position downstairs. You have all these reinforcement setups that you can access downstairs through this Solarium staircase. You can see the Kona station already positioned there, but when they fall back, they'll have that little bit of a boost in HP. What Hyferion5 need to do here is just try and pinch these roamers upstairs on these windows, which is what they're setting themselves up to do on that Solarium section. However, Joker gonna find profit, putting that vector to good use, and that is, I want to say, the first time that Nice Gaming have found an opening pick that wasn't a trade. There we go, though. Stizzy able to find a tease, and Autumn matching with Garen. This is starting to look a little bit less comfortable for them as they're inside of Solo as Gecko able to find Joker too. This round is slowly starting to slip through the fingers of Nice Gaming. They really want to hold on to this one, make that a 4-2, and that'd be a tremendous first half. But who's in such close proximity to Diana? The swing from Autumn is insane. He's able to find the pick, and it's all left to BMY. Can you replicate some magic? Remember, the site is downstairs. The attackers can start to flood below, but instead they're putting this pressure on the smoke. They know exactly where he is. This doorway's being held. There's no escaping now, but the first kill comes in. Gecko will fool the plant, though. That will be set in the site downstairs. Stizzy has complete access, and they box the smoke out, and they find that final kill as well. Autumn with a triple kill on the round, able to put in such good work just by getting in that Solarium. They gave it up. They weren't paying enough attention.
Yeah, that's another thing. You know what? It's been so long since I've actually played Siege that I forgot how important a Solarium hold is on a kitchen dining room defense. Because if you don't, it's the same thing as a Solarium hold for a master bedroom office defense. If you don't have a Solarium hold, and if you allow the attackers to gain full control of Solarium, on either one of those sites, it's almost always game over because if they have control of solarium on either kitchen dining or master bedroom sites, then they can easily get a avenue into the actual site, whether that be dining room, whether that be master bedroom, it doesn't matter. And with how small chalet
Attackers
is,
need to
with how
locate and defuse as many
easy it
bombs
is
as
for the
possible.
attackers to overwhelm the defenders on and off the site of chalet, and also the isolate the roamers and be able to cut off their rotations. It's a wonder as to why Nice Gaming didn't really pay as much attention to
Attackers have
Solarium
discovered the
as
location of
they
a
should
bomb.
have. And that's exactly why they lost that round. They didn't need to take control of master bedroom and office as you saw Hyferion5. They didn't need to do that. All they needed to do was take control of Solarium, and they did that. And with that, they were able to cut off the
10 seconds
rotations
left.
coming in from Nice Game, or well, the potential rotations coming in from Nice Gaming, because we didn't get to see
5
them
seconds to
rotate because
insertion.
Hyferion5 cut them off really quickly. And that's
Attackers
exactly
are
what we
moving
saw.
to defuse the bomb.
Yeah, and that's the importance of rotations in Siege. You need to make sure that as a defense, you always have a way to get back to site safely, and you protect your routes. Didn't quite happen there, and now that this side stops coming through, we're seeing, slight frustration in the operators. Autumn bring in that Frost, and that's a really powerful operator on Chalet, a personal favourite of mine. Not the number one seed, but definitely within the top bunch, because, well, those pog mats can just be so amusing when you get that kill. You hear that snap from a mat away, and, well, it just brings joy to your heart. You've got to be careful of these windows, and especially in Chalet with how many windows there are that are very important. You look at Library, 2 windows that you're going to have to jump on through. But we'll have to wait and see who's waiting on this mezzanine window, ego window, sorry, I should say, into mezzanine. Just wants to try and look to get this breach open. No frost mat beneath that window. That would have been a little bit of an uncomfortable way to start. But now just looking to get in a position to open up this breach, and they have the cloud of control. Hyferion5 on their defenses, choosing not to contest it. Yeah, you better crouch quickly there, Huzo, because if you aren't, and they look at that breach, you are going to get your head taken clean off. Thank you very much for doing so, but now looking to get this breach on opened up, and you see a very similar site set up here with the mute, the bandits, sorry, the Cade, not the bandit, but more importantly, these shields back in these positions once again, just waiting for this attack to come through. But so far, it's been fairly quiet from the side of Nice. It looks like Hyferion5 just being a little bit more patient, want to sit just that little bit further back and wait for the attackers to come to them.
Yes, that's what it seems to be at the moment. A little bit of, well, patience from both sides. Patience is a virtue, and both of these sides are practicing it very well. And at the moment, there's really no push coming
Attackers
in
have
from Nice Gaming,
located a
which is
bomb.
surprising considering their lineup. They have this Maverick in play alongside this Ace and also the Sledge in play, but no real push, no real aggression is coming out from them. They also have a
Attackers
tease
dropped the
on
diffuser.
this Ayana, but you see first, well, 2 kills actually coming out. Now, well, 2 kills actually coming out for Stizzy, but it was actually 3 in the process. He's gonna grab a, well, 2, and then he's gonna get taken down by a tease. And, well, that's the player playing in the kitchen behind the bomb has to be taken care of, but there's also another player holding an eagle from far out, and that's actually Gecko on this shield in this hallway in between sites, in this connector hallway, but he's going to be pushed off from it. He didn't get lit up as much as he lit up a tease, but it's a 3v3 between these two teams nonetheless. And with only 20 seconds to go, this is looking a little bit bleak for the side of Nice Gaming. They don't
Absolutely.
even have the
Cover
diffuser.
their
Well, now they do.
15
That's going to
seconds
be
to
the
go.
diffuser in the hands of the Maverick, and he's going to plant by default
10 seconds
behind the
left.
bomb chassis. But
Oh, wait, this
it
water.
doesn't look like Hyferion5 are noticing this. 2 kills coming out from Hyferion5, now 3, and well,
Defenders
now
have
3
located the
because now
diffuser.
they clutched the, well, I don't even know what that was. And Prophet is not going to be able to defuse the bomb. But I mean, that was a
Bomb
little
diffuser
bit
disabled
too
by
close for comfort.
defenders.
I can't believe the Maverick was
Bomb
able to
defusing
get
attempt
that
failed.
plant off
Defenders
behind
win.
the bomb chastity like that. That's crazy to me. That did not look like a Nice Gaming round whatsoever, but they almost could have gotten that.
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting to see there because on one hand you have this upstairs hold that the defense are going for because they're playing the site below and they just want to stall out time. They did a great job of doing that. The breach got opened up eventually into sight, but not comfortably enough where you'd feel uncomfortable as a defense holding on tight. And you could see Stizzy playing right back in kitchen, just picking up kill after kill. I'm a little bit confused as to how that kind of didn't come to a cleaner end for them there as the attack just forced to rush on in. It was just all a bit of a mess from the side of Nice Gaming. The time management wasn't quite in that position where you'd want it to be to feel truly comfortable about having to do
Defenders,
something
protect
like
your
that
bombs
later
from being
on.
defused by
But for
attackers.
Hyferion5, they did everything that they needed to do in terms of playing the clock. And I think this could be quite telling of how this half is going to play out. We saw on the side when Hyferion were attacking, when Nice Gaming were defending, that Nice were leaning into a lot of these gunfights that Hyferion clearly wanted to take. We saw the early aggression that they were bringing on their entries, and they were able to turn that into a very good amount of, I mean, it was like 5 rounds they got the opening pick. What, that's a
Bomb
83%
located
opening
by
pick
attackers.
percentage? That is crazy on your attacks.
10 seconds left.
That's changed here. You know, Nice Gaming definitely have a little bit of a
5
slower
seconds to
style of
go.
attacking, and that's paired perfectly by Hyferion's willingness to be
Attackers
patient.
ejected.
And
Bomb.
if Nice don't pick up a little bit more pace, I think it's going to only cause them more problems as the half continues.
Yeah, I do agree with you right there. It's a bit odd to see from. Well, it's not like Nice Gaming are being completely like rolled over by Hyperion 5. Like I said, I thought this would have been like a very evenly matched up. You said it as well. But if that round is anything to tell of the future rounds that will be coming after round 8, which is this round right now, then I fear for Nice Gaming because you can't have a slow attack on a map like Chalet. It's just not possible. It's just like how Chalet and Coastline are like the same type of map because they're both so attacker sided, small, easy choke points for the defenders to be caught out by, etc., etc. And those are the two maps where there is really no excuse for the attackers to have a slow attack on because if you attack slowly, the defenders are going to be able to catch you out and you end up trying to rush into site at the last second. And unfortunately, that's what happened to Nice Gaming. You know, they weren't able to get the picks that they needed. I mean, kudos to them. They almost won that round out of basically nothing. Hyperion 5 almost drew it. But still, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's just, it's not, it doesn't cut it on a map like Chalet. Just like how it wouldn't cut it on a map like Coastline. I mean, it looks like they picked up the pace a little bit here as a minute or so go by. But I wouldn't even say they picked up the pace. It seems like it's just as slow as the last round. And it doesn't look like Nice Gaming have learned any lessons. They're not really taking any real map control. I mean, they got control of main office. They got control of piano. But that's it. They don't really have anything else to go off of.
Yeah, and with only a minute remaining in the next round, it's struggling to see how they're going to try and close on this one. That Rooney gate, if they can get this closed, that'd be huge. Trying to get the right angle on that one, but that will just continue to burn up utility. 5 versus 5 here, and I mean, okay, I'm not exactly sure what Prophet's going for there. Maybe trying to move into the corner just to be a little bit more awkward and play it a little bit tighter, but in the attack really haven't got this control over Library, which is the mainstay of this assault. We saw when Hyferion5 were doing the same thing. This is what they did. They denied any access that the defense could possibly want to Library before jumping in that window to plant inside of Gaming. But the same thing isn't happening here as well. Atiz is going to get injured on down, and that's a little bit uncomfortable there. Should be able to... No, Gecko able to secure his kill before a teammate can get to join him. And with these cave clawing the hatch, who's watching down through the open one towards Pantry down into Gaming, trying to find something happen, but 15 seconds on the clock here. How are they going to try and drop down in? 4 kills to go. Autumn finding one. Garanet able to pick up a refrag, but that's not going to be enough. BMY though, able to get him into sight, able to avoid the frost mat, able to get that plant going on down, and well, on the 2 versus 2, the head sticking up, able to be covered. Joker saving the day there. The pistol in hand now, has to find the last, able to get it on the hip fire, drop the ADS to secure the headshot. Nice Gaming, you have stolen a round that you had no right winning, and well, that's the second time that's happening. How lucky was that timing though? Wombi, he was the Rooney was looking at the head of the ace when Joker found that kill.
That's a bit funny. That's kind of funny. Cause that's the type of that shouldn't have happened. That should have been Hyferion 5's round, but I mean, shoulda, coulda, woulda. That was a throw, 110%. It's a lot of it. It's it's basically I'm gonna keep saying this because it's these gunfights, man. It's gunfights that they should not be losing, and that they're losing. It's just odd. I don't know what's going on from both of these teams. It's these gunfights that they get into, and then it's like you expect one player to win it, and that player gets completely flicked on, boatload, destroyed, and it's everything going wrong, and I don't understand. I'm not too sure how that round was won by Nice Gaming, and I mean, we just saw what happened, but I don't even want to believe it. That should have been 5-3 for Hyferion5, but I don't understand how they threw it that hard. Because that was a throw. That was a throw.
It's always a difficult one, isn't it? Because you're looking at that round, and it's so hard to kind of
Attackers have discovered the location
finalize
of a
these
bomb.
last-minute pushes. Maybe slight difference in prospect placement might have helped them out just a little bit, but ultimately they're going to come back to it once again, and we're seeing them set up in a very similar way. The big thing here, though, is I want to see Nice Gaming speed it up a little bit. The reason I say that round was a stolen round, the reason why Nice Gaming probably shouldn't have been in the position to win that, is just because of how little time they'd left themselves. It took them a minute 20. Well, sorry, it took them a minute 40 till a minute 20 to get to a position where they were starting to put pressure on Library.
Yeah.
When you consider that the only real roam presence is, once again here, Divine just kind of running around, that isn't enough to warrant that much time investment in clearing this area out. You should be hot throwing them. Oh, that's a ridiculous kill to not pick up there. Divine should be lucky he was alive. And honestly, that is the sort of play that can really come back to hurt Nice Gaming. Just a little bit of just Joker looking the wrong spot, looking away for a split second, cost them a little bit heavily there. No Kona stations to be able to give Divine back his health, but still, that's a big deal being dropped so low. Now you have to be really careful with these roamers downstairs as well. Divine on these camera duty now, but you don't want to be taking the engagements. Knows exactly where Huzar is, and we're seeing the roam from Sticky now as they're trying to find something back in this round, just trying to tie things back. The first minute is gone, and they're already starting to put a little bit of pressure now onto Library. I like that they've sped it up, even if it is just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a little bit slow, but they're making improvements. As I said, I feel like every time I say they're making improvements, they just go slower, and I don't know if they hear me, but speed it up if you can hear me, because this is getting a little bit. This is gonna get awkward towards towards the last few seconds of this round, because if they don't have map control in the last few seconds of the round where they should be making the execute, guess what? The execute's not going to happen, and I mean, it's made worse for them because Divine, who's literally on 20 HP, is going to kill the same player that put him down to that HP in the Twitch, and I mean, that is unfortunate for Joker. He's going 11-7. Well, he was 11-6, now 11-7, and Nice Gaming still don't really have full control of the room that they're trying to get into. They don't really have full control of Mezzanine. Well, they should get it right now with the Nomad pushing in, but they also don't have full control of Library, and if they're going to try and make a push on any one of these sites, they need to get control of Library. I can't stress this enough, but they're not finding that trade. It's taking them like more than 30 seconds to find this trade for Joker, the player that they just lost. And now they're at 30 seconds left to go, and I mean, I just don't see them getting any type of avenue into this round, and Steezy's gonna make it even harder for them, making this a 5v3, grabbing the kill onto a tease, and it's left only Huzar, Garrett, and BMY, and this might be a situation. It looks like it's gonna be a 5v2, but Garrett is gonna take a fight. No, it's a 4v3 actually. Garrett does take a fight, and he does win it, and it's another gunfight, taking a fight in 6. But oh my god, 2v2 now, but 2 kills coming out from Gecko actually. He's going to grab the last 2 players that were left alive by Nice Gaming, and honestly, that almost like that looked a little bit fairer towards the end of it, but Gecko just got to like 2 double kills, 2 kills, 2 double kills, 2 kills to end off
Yeah.
that round. A little bit.
I mean, it's difficult because it clearly showed Nice Gaming there wanting to try and get that plant in through the game's window. But the problem was the rest of the team was more towards lobby side. And I feel like if they tried to tuck it in the corner of that doorway from fireplace into bar, maybe that would have been able to just sneak it down. Maybe they would have found something in that round. But those are one of those things where you never quite know how that's going to end up until you just let it happen. And it didn't work out for them there. Just a little bit unfortunate. But again, it's just they're just losing a little bit too much time in these rounds. Hyferion, though, they'll be happy to collect that round and expand upon previous mistakes and correct them. Now, once again, going to return to this kitchen site. And if we throw our minds back those 3 rounds ago, this ended in that 2 remaining kills to get that defuse down profit on a sliver. I think a sliver is even generous to say. It was nearly nothing in terms of HP. But it was the flank from Autumn right at the end on that Frost that really caught the attack off guard. And again, it was a timing issue from Nice Gaming where they only got in towards this kitchen, into dining to get that plant down when the time was already in the red. It was 11 seconds on the clock. This needs to speed up. And just looking at this up upstairs, the defense have reinforced this hatch inside of Master Bedroom, which means even if you don't take that Master Control, if you just deny the vertical angles that they could hold inside of office, there's nothing that they can really do to stop that plant downstairs. So you don't have to go as far across this top floor as one might usually have to do. The big thing here again is that there's no one inside of library, and you got to move much faster.
Yeah, I forgot. I wanted to say something, but I can't remember it. Actually, I think, yeah. Okay, now I know what I want to say. Okay, that was a bit awkward. I had a brain fart, but like
Now, it
again,
happens to everyone.
like you said it. They had a couple players in library. They also had players like all over the place. Really, not. They didn't really have a focus on where they generally wanted to push, and in that late round situation, it made them panic. And then it just looked like a hot mess. You had
Bomb
players coming
located by
down like
attackers.
west side stairs, you have players coming down from like mezzanine, you have players in library still. It was a bit awkward, their positioning, and it made them panic. And I mean that's gonna be reason enough for them to panic. Stizzy is gonna accidentally leave the game. I'm pretty sure he just got disconnected. Divine, it doesn't matter for Hyferion5 because he's gonna get the kill anyway. He's gonna trade the non-existent trade onto a tease. And I mean, the push is still very slow, actually. I didn't realize how much time just passed until now, and they don't really have a lot of map control. And reminding you guys, this is a kitchen kitchen dining defense, and they still don't really have control of office, and they only have 1:05 left to go.
Yeah, I mean, starting to attempt this kitchen breach now is a good way to start. They're getting that one opened up. Gecko playing tight on this position, though, could cause them some problems. They have players downstairs, and there is that hatch that's been opened up. Divine does have that Nitro stealth still in his pocket. And if he's, if the attack aren't careful, if they're not aware of what's going on, there is a option for them to pop that Nitro up through. And once again, the big deal breaker in this round for me is Autumn. Once again, hiding downstairs. This is the same position he played. He ran the same exact flank. The drone, though, catches that one out. Will they be on them? Will they be watching them? Atiz is dead, but he's watching Joker instead. Who's up? Is going to be the one putting that plant down. The Nitro cell that we talked about before is going to be the one to find the double kill. Garen had this flank ready, but it's not going to be enough. Joker trying to force his way in. Brute force through the doorway. The smoke coming up to cover his entrance in. He's playing around it. Going for that smoke ninja-esque play. Going to find the first after Jaeger. The push across the smoke, though. Can't quite cover the Nitro cell. And that's a tragedy for him in the final hurdle. Divine running back upstairs to find another 2 kills to give himself 4 in the round. A wonderful hold there. Despite everything that Nice Gaming tried to do to give themselves access, they just batted it away every single time. Hyferion5 know that site comfortably.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. I don't even really say unfortunate. It's just, again, we talked about it. These attacks have just been far too slow from Nice Gaming, and I mean, if there's a lot of dooms, or well, not dooms, but banes to a slow attack. Which is time, which is like if a patient team, a patient defensive team, but also nitro cells. You basically warned the viewers about it. You warned me about it as well. That nitro cell really screwed them over in that late round situation when I don't know. It's just a bit odd. It's the same thing that we're saying. We're repeating ourselves, and it's these attacks are far too slow, and their lack of their lack of map control, and also their grasp on the time situation that they're in it's not working out, and this is exactly why Hyferion5 are on match point on their defensive half. You know what I mean? It's just it's not good enough from Nice Gaming, to put it bluntly, and they know that. They should know that by now. And they should be tilted. This should piss them off, but I mean, it's just I don't really know what else to say. They need to speed it up, or they need to get some confidence to take more map control, because obviously the confidence is not there.
Yeah, it always becomes difficult because, well, it's just it's so hard that you're looking at the tools that you'd want to bring to deny these late round pushes. In my mind, there are four that stick out. Nitro cells is the universal one, and then you've got three operators that always come to mind. Smoke is the classic. We see Stizzy grabbing that smoke here because I think they know what's coming.
Yeah.
The second one is Tachanka, and Tachanka's fallen into a position of being almost a smoke backup. We've even seen some teams go for very interesting approaches. You're looking, the iconic one that stands up for me is on
Attackers
Cafe.
need to
I
locate
forget
and
which
defuse as
matchup
many
it
bombs as
was,
they can.
but they banned the smoke and they ran Tachanka every round as a smoke replacement. If you're comfortable with that, that works. Similar use of the gadget, a little bit less strong in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of many others, but it fulfills a similar role. And that last one is going to be the yokais that are available to Echo. They only had the
Bomb
nitro
located
cells,
by
but they played them
attackers.
so well and they played smartly around them. This round should be a little interesting to see though. Hyferion5, on match point, they need one round to win,
10
and they have a
seconds left
2-round
before
cushion.
insertion.
They can win this round or the next round to not
5 seconds
have
left.
any overtime play here.
Yeah.
But it's a basement hold. And in my
Attackers'
opinion,
objective is to defuse
basement
the
is
bomb.
the weakest site on the map, and that's my opinion. I think it's a trap for a lot of teams.
I think that's fact. Don't that's you're gonna don't humble yourself. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. The
100%.
basement is quite literally the weakest site. It's the least picked site inside of, well, not ranked, because a lot of people like torturous sites on rank, but in comp play, it's one of the least picked sites because of just how
Attackers
weak
have
it is for
located a
defense.
bomb.
It's very hard actually to roam on basement, believe it or not, because roaming your roamers can be cut off so easily, especially like through main hall, mezzanine, and stuff like that. And Chalet, again, I've said it before, Chalet is a very small map, and it's very hard to roam on a map like Chalet. Even with the fact that it has 3 floors, you have the basement, you have the main floor, and then you have the second. It's very hard to roam on a map like Chalet because it's so easy. It's so easy to cut off these rotations from these defenders. Like, I mean, you see Prophet going through what looks to be Trophy, and Joker can easily cut him off if he's paying attention. But I mean, I think, whoa, it's actually going to be the player inside of Dining, and it's Gecko actually be taken out as he does the hot drop into the hatch, and Baron actually picks up another kill, this time on the Prophet, and it's a bunch of kills coming out from Nice Gaming, and they find themselves in the 5v2 man advantage. I mean, if they grab this round, I could possibly see them making this into overtime, because if they if they do this same thing that they're doing right now, which is taking it fast, easy, grabbing an insane headshot, they could easily bring this into overtime. But I mean, this is careless from Nice Gaming. It's a kill for Autumn, but he may grab a second, and he does.
Let's see it.
There's no way that's a double kill from Autumn, and there's nobody
Oh.
watching the rotates, and this is going to be a beautiful clutch between Stizzy and Autumn in the 2v5 situation. You can't let it fall like this, and they do. A couple of missed shots coming in from BMY, but
Play it
I
tight,
mean, this
boys.
round is completely over. You have a player on top of Dining Room Hatch, and also a player behind the barrels,
I
or
hear the
behind
vault.
the Rex. It's Stizzy, and that's actually a
Oh.
nice shot from Stizzy, and I mean, Nice Gaming. What the hell just happened there?
That was a clutch and a half. The SAS squadron, they know how to hold down a site. And I was going to say I was a little bit worried when we started to see them breaking down towards Trench, because at that point, especially in a 2 versus 5 with the hatch exposed, you saw the Twitch drone pick up the ADSs. Oh, it is hard to play from that position, but they did a great job at it. So congratulations to Hyferion5 taking map number 1 of this brawl this evening. And Nice Gaming, you know what? They had a couple hurdles that they had to overcome, and a couple of them caught them and slowed them down. That's what led them to the finish, but they couldn't quite reach that finish line in time. But you know what? I think they did a good job, and it'd be interesting to see how this translates towards our next map, Cafe. However, we will be jumping to a very short break. So, go grab a drink, make good use of the toilet, and just bring back a snack for what I'm sure will be a brilliant matchup on Cafe in about 5 or so minutes. We'll see you in a minute.
Has very dominant frag positioning, but King gets a lovely shot, but he finishes off a double as he takes out Kitty along
from Ignite even force, but they don't have enough time to really dilly-dally here. And first piece of contact is
King. He's having a great game this time. He's got 2 KD so far. Kex, wait, slowly mess. We messed that one up. No nades in hand, but he will get pointed by the man in Oil Pit. Sir Googie.
What?
Kex is on a triple Sir Googie this whip, but Kex is there to find the quad. And if they found that lucky match, if they found that lucky mirror, which there was a nice shot by Sturgeon as he finds the doubles. Yeah, there you go. No one there. First big track gameplay, and he finds a triple kill. Now 1v. Not to many with our Sturgeon. I'm talking for him. There's no card rotate, he's just going to be holding that winner, and he finds a triple kill for him. Now that's going to be a 1-1-1 right. Oh, that's just an annoying find. The Quetta finds his 4th kill on that round, and I mean, it was silent 4K coming in. Nothing too special, but this is over the angle.
Could have been another for him, but it's a good shot from Johnny. And now a 1v3, it could be a 1v2 because he's actually still down. He could grab this kill F2, and it's now a 1v1. He is on a sliver of HP. His health bar is flashing red for good reason. Because, no, there you go, and that's no wall.
No chance!
We are back for more Talent League action. It's the first game of Playday numero 7. Is that what's 7 in Spanish? Ciento? No, that
Siente?
cien,
Siente?
ciento's sorry. Ciente. We'll go with Ciente. Anyway, number 7, and we're back. Had our first game, Chalet, ended in Hyferion taking the win, and it was well a little bit closer than some might have expected, but you know what? Hyferion's still able to keep that community vote somewhat on track for the time being, taking that first map home. The second, though, 1B, what do you think of this? We're going into Cafe, and from the sound of things, both our teams are in fact ready, so we might be jumping straight into it, but quick 1B, give us the one sentence breakdown of how this game's going to go on Cafe.
You know what? At this point, I didn't really think. Well, Chalet wasn't. It's just a lot, you know what I mean? Chalet didn't really. I thought Chalet would have gone into overtime with how. Well, we said it in the pre-match setup. The both of these teams were evenly matched, and this looked like a draw. But on Chalet, at the end of it, really, Hyferion5 seemed to completely roll over nice game. And I mean, I don't really know what to think about Cafe. Cafe is a lot different from Chalet. Chalet is this really small attacker-sided map, whereas Cafe is this really big, expensive, slow map, and it's just I don't really know what to think about it. It's just it's a bit of a wild card for me. I mean, the bans are a bit of a wild card as well, apart from the Thatcher ban, which is Nomad is banned on this map. So unless Valkyrie is banned, I don't really know what to think about this map. This could be a completely wild matchup that we see on Cafe.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. The Thatcher, very standard, and well, that's going to be joined by a Miraban who can command so much just presence, just demands your attention on a lot of these holds on Cafe, especially some very traditional, very classic holds where you just hold really long angles behind these mirror windows and just challenge the attack to look into you. Valkyrie matching this Thatcher mirror, just a very generic, very standard ban, especially on Cafe, because of how much soft floor space there is, how much wood the floor is wood. You're going to be sending those nitro cells up below. You're going to be blowing people up left, right, and center. And even when you're not abusing it for those nitro cell kills, just having the know-abouts, that asymmetric information game, which you can just abuse so much as a defender, you don't want to have to deal with. Like you mentioned, the Nomad's the interesting one here, and that will really help these roam games, because you'll see a lot of the times on Cafe, teams will set up, even when holding in this bottom floor, they'll set themselves up on the top floor. They'll have roamers running around upstairs that they later want to use the staircase to vault back. But a couple of interesting six picks here. Well, 2 unique drone operators being brought on the table. 1B, what's your takeaway on specifically this Echo?
What's the first site? They're going to kitchen.
Attackers need to
What is
locate
this
and
site?
defuse
Okay, yeah,
bombs.
sorry, kitchen. Alright, yeah, that's what it's called.
Kitchen.
Cool. Actually, Echo, I don't, for some odd reason, on this site in particular, a lot of people like to pick Echo. And I'm not sure what the reason is why he's so popular on this site. I'm guessing the reason why is because, well, you have the MP5 with the 1.5 sight, and he can hold long angles all the way from one kitchen site to the other. And also, he has his shield, and then he has his 2 Echo drones, you know, that aren't invisible anymore, according to an old patch a long time ago. Not so long ago, but a long time
5
ago.
seconds
And
remaining.
these Echo drones, I don't really know. Echo is really
Attackers
popular
objective
on
to
this
locate a
site
bomb
for
and
some
defuse
odd
it.
reason, and
Attackers
I
have located
can't
a bomb.
seem to wrap my head around as to why. He has a good gun. That could be a reason why, but the Echo drones could also play a part into it as well. But with how small this site is and with how easy it is to plant inside of kitchen, I really don't know why he's picked as much on this site as compared to any other operator that you might see, really.
I mean, he has some flexibility. Obviously, deployable shield is a massive part of Siege, and that's always going to be something where just having that shield is always going to boost an operator's pick rate, just because of how flexible and how powerful a gadget it is. The Yokais, though, you know, we've seen Nice Gaming be very slow on their attacks, especially on on our last game, Chalet. I think this is something that we can expect to see come through again as well. They're just stacking themselves outside of Oh, as I say that though, they're stacking themselves outside a bakery, but the kill's able to come through. They find Stizzy, meaning those yokais, while still being able to provide the information to the rest of Hyferion5, they're not being able to use that disorientating blast, which they're so feared for, which they can be so dangerous, especially for its ability to deny your current action. Loose grenade going to go as this control of bakeries being taken, and Huzar already going for a little aggressive peek down Prep. Fortunately, no one waiting above on that angle to catch him out as he swung. But with this breach getting on opened up, Gecko trying to stir things down with that Twitch drone. Artees able to find a bounce back kill, and well, this defense starting to slide away a little bit.
I mean, this is the complete opposite of what we saw Nice Gaming on Chalet, and they've like the map control that they're taking right now is beautiful, but that's not beautiful at all. The team kill coming out from Joker onto Uzar, but it's still a 4v2 man advantage for Nice Gaming, and they have 1 minute and 10 left. They have plenty of time to work with here, and that's a nasty shot from Joker over here looking like Bolo, and now it's left Gecko in the 1v4 situation. I don't think he's going to be able to clutch this out. He has his nitrous on plate. He's going to throw it out, but it's not going to hit a single target of his. And it's actually going to be BMY to actually get the plant down. And it's Artees who swings in from red hallway on to Gecko. And that's the round for Nice Gaming. I mean, this attack, well, it is only the first round that we see, but this attacking round is the complete polar opposite. Like I said, from what we saw on Chalet, it was a lot easier for them to get map control. Whereas on Chalet, we didn't really see that as much. And it could be because this is their map pick. And Chalet simply wasn't. But,
Yeah.
I mean, Cafe is a harder map to take take map control on, whereas Chalet is a little easier. It's just, wow, that was incredible from Nice Gaming. A completely dominant round from them as well.
I do wonder what part of that was that the breach was just kind of given up to them. They didn't take any map control, really. They took Bakery.
Yeah.
They had no presence
Attackers need to
upstairs for the
locate
most
and
part.
defuse as many
The
bombs as they
roamers
can.
from the side of Nice Gaming, from Hyferion, sorry, on the defense, had the ability to play this prep angle upstairs inside a train. They had the ability to kind of have some impact on that round. The gunfights just didn't really work for them. They are bringing this Cade this time around, though. I think that is a perfect change-up to introduce in this round, because there's a big way in which you remove any sort of denial on this wall, specifically the one we saw get opened up last time from Bakery into Kitchen Cooker, is that you want to just open up above and try and shoot down or nade down onto any of the bandit batteries and mute jammers down below. The same doesn't always apply to these Cade claws, and you can also get the hatch inside of Prep as well, which is the other common way for teams to attack, although that one's been opened up. So it looks like going for more of this heavy roam-esque style of push, and that does sort of lean into that with that removal of the Nomad from play. It'd be interesting to see how things change from the side of Nice Gaming, if anything changes, because from the looks of things, where we're seeing their outlines already, once again, it's a stack-up outside of Bakery, and with less presence inside a Bakery, there's no shield there this time. Huzar already taking that control.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Hyferion5 want to get this. Well, I was gonna say they don't want to get the early lane advantage to Nice Gaming, but it looks like they are. I mean, Autumn's stuck in this little position here. He's going to get caught out by the player that rushed him, and that's Huzar to get the first kill onto the smoke player. Weirdly enough, positioned in the Harry Potter position. Under that red stairs, I don't really know why that position is in the hand of a smokes player, but that's a big makahum, because I don't think I've seen that right now. I don't want to question it. That's the man advantage for Nice Gaming. And I mean, they have quick control of Bakery as well as small Bakery, but that is Gecko to grab a nice shot. I mean, the Roni got nerfed, but he makes it look it didn't get nerfed whatsoever. And now that's the even man count between both teams. And I mean, the map control, the lack of map control or whatever it is coming in from Nice Gaming. I mean, that pick in the hands of Hyferion5 looks to stagnate this attack, and they're just stacked up in small Bakery as well as Bakery itself, and they don't have. I don't really know what they're doing.
And I think the big thing here is this rotate. Oh, the swing! That was huge. Able to find the ace. Unfortunately, the refrag comes through, but the position to hold is here. It's the Vine. He has this angle where if the attack aren't ready, when they go to push in for this plant, he has that off spot onto them. Stizzy holding the deep from the freezer window also just commands so much attention from the attackers. They're currently droning outside, trying to figure out what's going on. These long angles currently being held by the 1.5s on the side of the defense. That is going to help them out a ton in this 3 versus 3. You can hear the movement through Prep, but Joker able to find the deep angle onto Stizzy, and that isn't going to help at all. The plant starting to go down in 2 versus 2. Garen finds one, Artees with the other, and that's going to stop the defense pushing back in. A wonderful angle being held here, and, well, turns out Divine Spot couldn't quite work for them. It didn't live up to its namesake, and, well, that's going to be another round for Nice Gaming. They've fallen twice on Kitchen. I mean, they have to change things up here, don't they, Wumby?
I mean, they're gonna go to another site. It looks like they locked in the bar cocktail, but I mean, I want to say, like you said it before, I didn't really notice it until now, really. There's not really like the lack of map control that Nice Gaming isn't taking is kind of irrelevant to what's going on with what Hyferion5 is doing on their defensive holds. The lack the lack of holding from Bakery, the lack of holding from Red Hallway, and also there's not a they established those vertical positions the round before the round that they just lost, and they didn't really use them to their advantage. You know what I mean? It's just I find it very odd that on the Kitchen defense you don't have as much vertical presence on your defense, because having those vertical angles as a defender on any side really could really make or break your round, right? And especially if they're getting the plants down in those defaults area and you have the vertical angles to shut them down. Why aren't the players positioned there? Where are these roamers that you have, and why is it so stagnant? You know what I mean? I just
5 seconds left.
I fear. I mean, this site could actually be perfect for Hyferion5 with the way that they're playing, because Cocktail Bar doesn't require a lot of vertical angles to be held from below or above, really. It's a very horizontal way of defending. It's a very tertiary site. You don't need to overextend and have a vertical presence, but on Kitchen you do. So their hold was very odd to see.
I mean, it's going to be slightly different this time now. They have this Wamai that they're using with the Jaeger as well, because Jaeger was banned, Wamai was banned previously. Looks like that isn't going to matter though. It's a couple of spray shots. We're actually going to get Stizzy down very early on. Artees doing that damage from the window repel on that white corridor. Now looking for a second. This smoke, you can't push up too far here, Autumn. Oh, he just runs on by. Well, he finds the break in the Thing's watchful eye, and this frag grenade bouncing backwards will get caught by the ADS, using that smoke grenade to try and deny the rotation, but Autumn, you can't run in front of the window. What, twice? What's the saying? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. And there we go. That is that in perfect effect. But now, the 4 versus 5. The attack have that advantage. What can Prophet do though in this position?
So he has a nitro cell in hand, so these cameras could work in tandem, or else Gecko on his deployable shield with those slits could also feed him some intel and pings to his advantage. But I mean, he's probably gonna get shut down here by his teams if he decides to get careless with his rotates. But it looks like Prophet is just going to stick in this position right in the train museum, as you can see it on the campus. But he still has that nitro cell in hand, and I mean, he could also rotate through trains under the new bulk drop that you just see that the Twitch was just in, and he could use that nitro cell to eliminate her. But it seems that the Twitch is just rotating between Cigar Lounge as well as New Hatch, and there goes the nitro cell that Prophet did have that I just mentioned, but it's going to be wasted on nobody. Ateez is actually going to make this worse for Hyferion5 by grabbing the kill onto whatever, but the 2 kills come out from either team, and I mean, what the heck is happening there? 2 swings come out at the same time, and now it's Divine left in the 1v3, and 2 kills go out for Garen, or well, 2 kills, 1 kill come out for Garen, and then the other for Joker, and that's the round for Nice Gaming. And the site switch doesn't work in their favor, and Hyferion5 on their defensive half on Cafe are now 3-0 down to Nice Gaming's attack, and this is not this is not what I thought would happen at all.
Yeah, especially when you consider the fact that Cafe is generally a very defender-sided map. Oh, very quickly, the Monty coming through. Not only, ah,
Oh, come
who's our
on.
curse you, man. I, I was getting so excited there. Monty and Opera. I love shield operators. They're so fun to play. You walk at people, they get mad. They don't know what's going on. They just have to live with it. You walk at them. You get to type ha 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 lol lost 1v1 to Monty or whatever in all chat.
Attackers need
You
to
get to be
locate and
toxic.
defuse
It's
as
so
many bombs
fun.
as they can.
And then not only that, but paired with this seasonal event bundle, you have that card background. I'm hoping he had the shield skin as well. A little bit cheesy, the shield skin, but you know what? I'll still give it a good pass. I think it's probably third in my go-to shield skins. I don't currently own it. I'm toying with the idea. We don't need to talk me into it. But sorry, I was gonna say the Blackbeard. Change it out for a Blackbeard. That's even worse, actually. You know, not only taking the shield operator off the board, you're just rubbing it in my face and I go, oh, I got a tiny little shield. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. The advantage of having a Blackbeard here is that there are some really important windows that you want to hold on to as the attack. And that is where Blackbeard excels, because it has that face shield, which is going to be able to prevent you from getting headshot. And getting headshot is a pretty good way to die in Rainbow Six Siege. So the ability to play, importantly, the piano windows when trying to take the shield away, and it was basically on that Umai playing in that position last time around, that's going to be the thing that they're going to focus on first. But later on, you can rotate to this white corridor window. We saw Autumn get caught out there before, but also, when looking at these final plants, being able to play on the east windows, there are so many options for a Blackbeard on Cafe.
Yeah, well, so many options and so many kills. This time for Matisse is actually going 6-0. He's going to grab the first pick of this round onto Profit, and that's the Goyo gun. So Nitro Cells, that Nitro Cell is gone. He's not going to be able to use it no more unless he can teleport from the dead and be able to use it. But you see Atiz is also going to play on his windows. He played in the same position last time, but this time he has two players looking at him. He had a Wamai and also oh yeah, Autumn to his right, and then also the Wamai to his left. So two players. And you're also going to have some wow, wait a minute.
Oh.
Because Atiz is actually going to get a pick onto Keko, but Divine is able to trade that out. And we now have this Blackbeard, and you see he's adding insult to injury. Not only does he have Blackbeard, but he's also upside down repel watching for his run out. So I mean, how cancerous can you get? He's just going to shut down any type of rotations from this team with that Blackbeard shield. You also have the quick map control coming. Well, not quick map control, but the map control nonetheless. In this game, you have a player in Cigar Lounge and also a player that was in actually Piano, but is going to be taken down by Autumn. And it's now a 3v3 between the two teams. And this looks like an even round. I say that and Garrett gets the kill. I'm just gonna stop talking and pass it on to my because I can't do this no more. This is
The
a
kills
lot.
are just they're just coming through. I mean, a great job by Hyferion5 to try and claw back into this round, but that grenade from Garen was so perfectly placed, just taking out the remaining defender upstairs. And well, the 2 versus 3 here, Autumn and Divine, the Maestro and the Smoke, the two anchors to hold the team down. We saw what you can pull off in a clutch situation. Autumn, a lovely shot onto Huzar. That's the Blackbeard being sent to the grave, back to respawn. And well, this 2 versus 2 just keeps on going. It's a gift that keeps on giving with 30 seconds on the clock. There's plenty of time for these two teams to make their mark, and the grenade isn't going to land quite as true as its previous one. He saw the rotation of the smoke onto this balcony here, and he's just looking. I think he knows the Maestro's nearby. The crossfire, though, is so dangerous for BMY to move on into this position. They have the position of that smoke. He's holding on tight. You've got to be careful of Divine, though. Check your corners, and he does. He wins the gunfight. He turns around and secures the second with a headshot. BMY taking a round home for the team, and a 4-0. This massacre keeps on going.
That was I did not, you know what, at this point, what can Hyferion5 do to get a defense around here? They need to win this round and also the second round to be able to have a chance in this matchup, because it's bad enough going 4-2 down. Going 5-1 down or even 6-0 on Cafe is not good enough, especially when you're starting on defense first. I I don't know what they need to do. They're going to Reading Room Fireplace Hall, which is a well, it's not a controversial site. It's a I want to say it's notoriously attacker sided because of how easy it can be for the attackers to overwhelm the players around and inside the site as well.
Attackers
It's
need
not
to
an easy
locate and
site to
defuse bombs.
anchor in, and it's also not an easy site to play around. Um, you know what I mean? Like especially in the top four holes, the cocktail, the bar holes, whatever the case may be. I don't know what they really can do. They didn't really look solid on the Churches side. They didn't look solid on the horizontal side of Cocktail Bar. I don't even know how they can. I don't even know how they're gonna be able. This site, if they can't even do the simple stuff on kitchen dining, or I'm so sorry, kitchen, and also the simple
10
stuff
seconds remaining.
on Cocktail Bar. An
Yeah.
easy site to defend on cafe.
I think one thing that we have to look at here, and this is I think going to be the saving grace for Hyferion in this round, is that we saw on Chalet how good they were playing, how good they were at playing the kitchen dining site, and this works somewhat similarly because you want to hold upstairs, you want to play patiently, and eventually fall back and just wait for that plant to come through. The problem here is that Nice Gaming clearly look much more comfortable at playing cafe, and we've seen their entries have been much better timed. They know what they're doing, they're moving together as units, and they're giving each other information, and that's exactly what we want to see. Already though, Joker leading the charge for his team. I call it a charge, leading the humble walk as they're just trying to gather some information early on, wait for the roamers to engage themselves, and Prophet, I think he hears the footsteps nearby. He doesn't quite know it's a double though, and he's going to quickly get turned on by the Twitch and Ash combination, and well, that's Train Museum held. Divine though with a lovely long angle being held. Gonna find himself, no, he can't find the second RT. He's living with barely any H. What was that shot from Autumn? Garen shutting it down though. The 2 versus 3, and this suddenly collapsed out of nowhere, 1B.
I mean, BMY is actually getting a plant down and dining. Where the hell is the defense? There's nobody to watch that. Okay, there goes one defender. That's Stizzy down by a tease, and that's the plant down and dining. I mean, you barely see any plants in dining. You're gonna see it in this round, and that's a kill for Garen, and that's the round for Nice Gaming. This is going to be a quick. If this keeps up, this is going to be a quick map. And I mean, I hear Yella in the background saying yes.
Mate, yeah, having Yellow in your ears is an absolute treat because this guy, he just gets so hype. He gets hype on everything, and I'm sorry that you, the viewers, aren't able to kind of hear just the glee whenever something cool happens. But I mean, Nice Gaming, they are looking unstoppable, and just the intuition that they showed in that last round, recognizing that, well, there's no contention in train, there's no contention in mining, we can take this ground for free, we can start to push in deeper towards the site, and that's exactly what they did. And BMY is playing a little bit further behind his team, which obviously you're going to be doing as a support role, but he just seems to have this kind of intuition for where he wants to go on this map. And that was something that I personally criticized him for on Chalet. And he's just showing, you know what, maybe Chalet wasn't the map that Nice were preparing for. Maybe they expected Hyferion5 to choose a different arena for that first initial encounter. Nice Gaming, they have turned things around, and they are looking just so damn dominant here on Cafe.
This is a big shock for me. Oh, I accidentally, you know what, I thought it was still 4-0 because I quite literally switched to the Twitch thing and it said 4-0, but I realized we're like 5 minutes behind, so I thought it was going to be, I thought we had some hope for Hyferion5, but nope, it's 5-0, and this could easily go into a 6-0 right now. I mean, Nice Gaming, you have to do flawless. He's going 9-1, you have Joker going 5-2. This is a much better scoreboard for Nice Gaming than what we saw on Chalet, and it wasn't even that bad on Chalet. This just looks completely flawless through there. They're rolling with it. They're vibing, and I mean the vibes are high for them right now. And obviously, it's very low for Hyferion5. This is just a shambles. And, you know, they're going to Cocktail Bar, and I don't know what their plan is to win this round. Maybe they're just wanting to end this round very quickly so they can just claim the point, because they've been claiming points all season, so it wouldn't be any different now. But I'm just shocked. They look so good on Chalet, and then to come on Cafe, it's not giving, bro. It's not it.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Gecko, able to pick up the first kill. That's Huzar going down. That's the Zofia off the table. And that is going to help you hold on tight. You're losing those concussive blasts, but more important, the explosives. This Goyo is going to become a lot more powerful, and it's going to be a lot more valuable. The difficulty here, though, is how they're going to just try and stop these rogues, because you're seeing Garen making his way in downstairs, and you got RTs watching from pillars ready. Garen trying to take the gunfight onto Gecko, though, trying to get this pre-fire. He's going to get caught out, and that's his first death of the map. RT's going to get completely shut down. Gecko, he's here to play now. 5 rounds have gone, but this 6th one is his. The 2 versus 5 now for the remaining attackers inside of Nice Gaming, as that wall is going to get kept on shut. The impact trick from the Maestro, the Nitro self is down below. Prophet reading him, they knows exactly what's going on. Joker ends that flawless run, going to pick up Stizzy, but the 4 versus 1, I mean, we've seen it happen already this series, but something tells me that this isn't the round for that to happen once again.
It's incredibly hard to clutch a 1v X situation on Cafe, just because, again, it's a defender-sided map. It's huge. Defenders could be anywhere, and you could be shot you could be shooting at someone 1 second and then be shot in the back from like 10 yards out, and you won't need it. But they already know where his position is. It's been given away, and it's actually going to be obviously for him to kill. Autumn, I mean, on this SMG-12 has been looking nasty, and I hear sides coming in for sure. He does not want this to go to overtime, and I mean, if it goes to overtime, I think my migraine will get worse, because I don't know what I'm watching, but I mean, match so far.
Well, we will have to see. Only time will tell. The side swap now coming in, and Nice Gaming a very comfortable 5-1 after an attacking. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, attacking half on Cafe Dostoevsky. Clearly, they have an affinity for the Russian winter. But now, how they choose to play these defenses is going to be particularly interesting to me, as they're going up straight away to Bar and Cocktail. And you're looking at the spread of lineup, a couple interesting operators. You've got that Wamai paired with the Jaeger. You've got the Ella for that deployable shield, and I imagine it's also likely to see the FO12, as that weapon is terrifying. I don't say completely, but it is just a nightmare to deal with. You never want to peek into that one. I believe it's called the Skill Machine in TDMs now that they're being added to the game, because of the immense amount of skill that it really requires to use the FO12, but all sarcasm aside, just trying to set this shield up in a position where it's going to be held safely inside of Cigar Shop. It should be noted, though, that this is their only deployable shield, because Thunderbird doesn't have one. Wamai and Jaeger do not have one, and you know where this is going, Mute does not have one, which means that it's going to be a little bit harder to support this Ella from that pixel.
I don't really think big guys to say in this round. Wow, okay, actually, you know what? That Gecko gives me something to talk about. He grabs the first kill onto Joker, and that's actually the Wamai gone. So those rechargeable discs are not going to recharge no more because he's dead.
Yep.
And now that's, I mean, that's specific. I don't know if he was spawn peeking. I don't know what the case may be. If he got a little overconfident because of the scoreline right now, but that's not the way to do it, bro. And he puts his team in a very vulnerable position early on to start this run off. And
That just spray through the window.
Oh, really?
I think it looks like it. I don't see the punch hole in the window, which, you know, fair play, you get caught out by timing there. It's a little bit rough.
My bad. Love you, Joker. Okay, first, second. Oh man, that's great. I mean, we saw a little bit of a gunfight. Oh, okay, that's a tease actually going on to Gecko, and we saw the gunfight on White Stairs. That was the Ayana going on White Stairs. Trying to get control of White Stairs so they can cut off rotations. But Divine is actually going to get a pick this time on. Now it's Autumn. 2 kills coming out from Hyferion5 in a row, and it's a tease to fall, making a 42-man advantage for Hyferion5. I mean, they look terrible on their defenses, but their attacks are a different story here.
Yeah, I think Nice Gaming just feel a little bit too confident. They're not showing Hyferion5 the respect that they are due. Just as a team, as an opponent, they're going to know they're going to be able to fight back, even if they had a rough start. Prophet, though, now on this window, and joined by Autumn. This is the opportunity for them, with only 2 remaining defenders. But if they can try and sneak on in through these windows and try and take this control, it's a little bit risky. Because if you get caught out, obviously you're very much left on an island. The rest of your team can't quite get to that diffuser easily. But they just have to wait and see. A minute on the clock means they've still got plenty of time, but the Vine down below, ripping up this floor, removing the comfortable positions where anchors would be sitting inside of the cocktail bar, means that this is your opportunity to go for this east take. The drone coming in, that's going to give the information on BMY away. The flashbang's coming over, going to be matched by a nitro cell. That will not connect though. There's the push coming in. Garen waiting for this rappel to come through. The Habana is coming through this window, has to come through this window surely, but no. Divine picks up one after the refresh from BMY. Garen finds the first, can't quite find the Habana on the window. Autumn holding tight, waiting patiently before jumping in. It's going to find the final kill, and well, a good start and a very much needed start for Hyferion5 on their attacking side, as Divine is going to have dropped from the game once again, having a little bit of connectivity issues.
What the hell is going on with Hyferion5 and just like I think it's only been them that just like leave, but I just think it's just internet issues. It's just understandable. I totally
He's
get it.
back.
Oh, he's
We
back.
got him.
That's crazy. Well,
So that was speedy.
these last 2 rounds have gone in the way of Hyferion5, and they're now only 3 rounds away from tying up with Nice Gaming. And we see Nice Gaming going on to Kitchen, but I don't really know what to expect of these last 3 rounds, because those 2 rounds that Hyferion5 won were completely unexpected. I did not think they were gonna win those rounds. Or well, according to what Nice Gaming has been showing us, right? And
Yeah.
I don't really know
Attackers
what
need
to
to
expect
locate
out
and
of these
defuse
last
as many
3
bombs as
rounds,
they
because
can.
if Hyferion5 end up getting 3 rounds in a row, that's going to completely chalk the mental of Nice Gaming, and they probably won't see this match out. But that's a little bit too far into the future. I just want to get your thoughts on this. What do you make about what do you make up about what's going on right now with?
Well, it's very intriguing because Nice Gaming, after a brilliant attacking half,
10 seconds
I
left.
think the problem there was just not showing the respect to Hyferion5. I think they felt a
5
little bit
seconds
too
remaining.
comfortable. Oh, is that? Oh no, that's the R6 major skin. Lovely skin there
Attackers
on the
must
Cade.
locate and defuse
I
the
think
bomb.
the problem there is that they just felt too confident, and that is a real thing. Obviously, having confidence in yourself is important, especially in a game like Siege, where individual performance has such a large part to play inside of the game with how the gun mechanics work. But if you just get a little bit overzealous, it can really start to hurt the rest of your team around you. And using this trick to just re-drop that claw so we can position it in a way in which it's going to hit the hatch as well as both these walls, that might be the trick there. Oh, lovely throw. Good job, BMY. Keeping the site locked down. But it'll be interesting to see how this roam plays out, I think. I think that's going to be the deal breaker in this round for me.
I'm still in a Kaid clock, because that's crazy. Well, actually, there's a lot of Kaid clocks on every single map, but I I think there's a really nice one, actually, and it's unboarded, which is not in Complay.
A bomb has been located.
I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. So, I mean, in this round, in general, Hyferion5, they have 3 rounds left to go. Honestly, what can they do in these last 3 rounds mentally, and also, well, gameplay wise, to ensure that they end up, on the same level in terms of like round points and stuff like that with Nice Gaming? Like, what can they do at this very moment?
I think the big thing is just a mental reset. Tree is a new half, and it looks like that's what they're doing. They're not letting anything in the past hold them back from just continuing in this round, and already watching for these deep angles, expecting Nice Gaming to try and take some form of aggressive gunfight. Especially our teams that's going to be doing that on that kitchen cooker, looking for the heads peeking out above this bar counter inside a bakery, and well, so far hasn't been able to line up his crosshair with any of them, although he may be given that opportunity. Divine brought to very low HP from that vector. A little bit fortunate to walk away with his life there, but the grenades are going to come flying on through from Stizzy, just looking for an opening here, looking to make something land. Who's also in a very aggressive position here with the shotgun, just trying to make something work here, denying any entrance to Hyferion5, and you got to respect just the pure aggression that they're bringing here.
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of people may see what a team is doing as overzealous, but if he's playing as aggressive as he is, it makes Hyferion5 hyper aware of what he's doing. And on top of that, if they're not able to kill him, I said it, and then they're just getting 2 picks in a row, Prophet and Stizzy. I mean, I was just gonna go on about how the team was doing really good, and then it's just a bunch of kills coming out from Hyferion5, so maybe it wasn't that good, and it's not when 1v5 being I just left in this situation. I mean, he has a nitro cell and a prayers going on. That's all about it. Now the nitro cell lasts no longer, and it's just the flawless round for Hyferion5. And I mean, what the hell is going on with Nice Game? They look so comfortable on their attacks, and this looks like, I mean, I never thought I would say this, but this looks like an attacking cafe. This is crazy.
Yeah,
I don't like this.
I'm also a little bit perplexed on just kind of how this is being enabled by these teams. Neither of them have the grasp on the defensive kind of ideas that they want to bring to the table. I thought maybe we'll see Nice Gaming start to walk away a little bit, but they're just playing very aggressively without that upstairs presence to prevent something like the buck, which we saw them use to just rip open this floor and start exposing the defense. Yes, Hyferion5 were a little bit late on moving that soft destruction into a position where it's going to be more useful. Yes, they probably should have done that earlier, just because, well,
Attackers need to locate and
why
defuse
wouldn't you?
bombs.
I'm not a massive fan of the way these teams are just kind of brute forcing their way into Bakery. They're also not really being punished for it, and that's why they're continuing to do so. What we need to see change from Nice Gaming to disrupt to that kind of flow in the early round for Hyferion5, I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's just got to be something to do with playing just a little bit more forwards inside of Bakery.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same thing that happened with Hyferion5. The lack of on this Bakery push, I just, from both teams, it's not just Hyferion5. It just happened with Nice Gaming. No vertical presence to stop this Bakery push. I mean, I keep having to say it, but you also have, I mean, look behind Bakery, you also have the barbed wire. I mean, again, even with this utility presence that both teams have had behind this Bakery, it still is overrun by the attackers, and neither defense has had any success in stopping this Bakery push. And that's alarming to see from both of these teams. It's very, it happened really as well with teams on their defenses, mainly, well, both teams actually, I was gonna say mainly Nice Gaming, but both teams were having a lot of trouble stopping a lot of basic pushes.
Yeah,
And
Deploying drone.
Next drive.
you can, sorry.
We're good. I was just saying, seeing the roam clear starting to come through, and this is a nice change to see from Hyferion5 because they've recognised just that Bakery push isn't going to work. This is back to that fundamental which we're talking about of taking good map control, and with the way Nice are playing, they are all sat downstairs on that ground floor. There is no one up here to even start to contest anything, and you know, not even half the round's gone. Hyferion5 once again with complete control upstairs. They now have really good options for where they want to rotate their influence.
Both teams on this site, Kitchen in particular, have had very weak presences, or weak presences, or no presences at all on this vertical control. Both actually, well, from Nice Gaming, their attacks they didn't really control their defense they didn't have any vertical control. And now we see kind of the opposite, but this time Hyferion5 has grabbed vertical control and they're using it to their advantage, whereas Nice Gaming, there's nobody from Nice Gaming to be seen, and you actually, I think I'm seeing a rotate from Brown coming in, a player from Christmas, but it doesn't look like he's committed to that rotation quite yet. And Hyferion5, if they have this vertical control and if they have these vertical angles set up, they can push these players out, not only out of sight but also out of position to be caught out, and that's the first kill. That's that vertical hose pushing these players out of position, and this time into the gun of Prophet grabbing the first kill. But you see who's there on this flank from Red Stairs, and he might be caught out by Prophet. I see this swing and but I think he's actually going to be caught out, and that's not Prophet. That's actually Skizzy on the Flores to take out Huzar. But another kill this time comes out from Nice Gaming, and they grab Prophet on that Sophia. But Hyferion5, they have 10 seconds left to go, but they're going to make it work. A 4v2, Autumn getting the plant down. Now 5 seconds to go. The plant is still going down. You can't count. And there's nobody. Nice Game the plant. I mean, what is going on with these defenses on this kitchen site?
I don't know how you let them slip in like that, but it's going to happen. The catch is being watched. Autumn wins the gunfight. Divine watching for BMY to walk out into the open. And I mean, nice gaming, guys. Okay, let's take a second here, right? You've done a great job on your attacks, and you're letting it slip through your fingers. 4 rounds in a row Hyferion have put back to back. That's 3 attacking rounds on Cafe. You have to stop the bleeding now. Take a time, just have a mental reset. This is where things like that become so important for you, because you can't panic. They're going to be returning to this bar cocktail, bringing that Goyo. So no more Ella. Bring that Thunderbird, bring that Goyo. Oh, are we going to see the 6th pick onto the Ella for Huzar once again? Nope, it's a 6th pick onto another Thunderbird. They have 2 shields they can play around. They have plenty of protection for this shield, and they have that Thunderbird to give them a little bit of a health boost. This is where you need to just play slowly, play around your hard utility here, and just wait a second. Let Hyferion make a mistake, because that is ultimately what's happening. Even when Nice Gaming pick up these opening picks, they're not playing enough of the map, specifically on that downstairs floor. But the same is kind of still true here. They're giving up a lot of space. We saw last time they defended this site, the Buck from Divine went underneath and just started ripping open this cocktail floor, pushing the defenders out of their comfortable positions, and there was no one in a real spot to contest this cocktail. That's going to be the biggest difference. You need to start waiting for Hyferion to make their move, but making sure that you're covering where they want to go, so that they're just walking into you and you can take these advantageous gunfights, rather than exposing yourselves on what should be the comfortable side.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to give my praises though to Hyferion5. One thing, I am very pessimistic about any team, and I'm very picky about what I see, and I think that's a negative about me that I'm willing to share. But I will give my praises to Hyferion5. They have made these vertical angles work in their favor. Now, especially on their attacks, they didn't really do it that much on their defenses, but on their attacks, they're doing a great job of establishing these vertical angles, and also using those vertical angles to push these players out of position and into the sight of another player that's waiting for them to rotate, that's expecting them to rotate to a specific area. And that's just them doing a good job on these vertical angles. I mean, Divine is doing a hell of a Buck. I'm a big Buck fan, and I love to see Buck players do their Buck duties, and he's doing it. And I have to clap. I don't know if you hear it, but I'm clapping. I'm clapping for you, because that is some good Buck play from him.
Yeah. And he's trying to do the same thing again here. He's looking for an approach downstairs. Unfortunately, this time not quite going to work. A couple spray shots off from long angles being sent in his direction instead, but this control. No, Hyferion5 have achieved it in good time. Halfway into the round, they have this shop control. They're starting to make their way into piano. They just have to wait to try and get this utility in a position to remove this Goyo corner. They have to clear Pixel, because otherwise they're not going to be able to find the entrance that they want into the fight. And you can see these gunner stations. I think that's 4 times they've already been used this round, as Artis is just sitting comfortably. He's not doing anything dangerous. He's not exposing himself. He's just waiting for something to happen. He's making the attackers do something and forcing them to use their utility. And there's only a minute left in the round. They have to clear Pixel soon. They're not making the correct move here. I'm surprised he's still standing. Okay, utility's starting to come on through. The frag grenade into the corner. This should be the end of him. No, he's somehow able to hold on tight. The fire is going to do the rest of the damage, though, as he tries to run away. Able to escape with his life. There's 2 quick kills. Joker, you're an absolute machine in this position, holding on tight, saving his teammates. Make that a triple kill for the Jaeger. He's seen the mistakes of his team. He's trying to rectify them. Artis able to get a little bit of health back from those corner stations, now playing very tight on this doorway as, well, BMY getting involved in the action. Prophet finally shuts down the Thunderbird, but Garen from down below, the gunfight's coming in all angles, all just trying to completely mess up the day of Hyferion5, and they're finally able to do so.
Crap.
I
I'm
don't know
not gonna
how.
lie, I muted myself. I'm so sorry. I was talking and then I was like, you said something and I was like, oh, okay, my bad. I didn't know. Anyways, I was gonna say this is a much better round. That was a much better defensive round coming in from Nice Gaming. What you saw was them wasting a lot of Hyferion5's time, whereas in the other rounds before that, they weren't really doing a lot of time wasting. You said it before, they weren't really respecting Hyferion5 because they had such a large round advantage. They did a lot better this time with respecting their opponents, but also wasting their time and utility. The my persisting behind that shield on that
Attackers need
white
to
door
locate and defuse
on
as
that
many
white
bombs as
hallway
they
door
can.
frame into
Yeah.
piano. I mean, the amount of utility that was on him that was also burned was a beautiful
Attackers
sight
have
to
located a
see
bomb.
for Nice Gaming because they didn't really give up a lot of the picks, whereas in the earlier rounds that would have been a tease peeking and that would have been him dying. That time he didn't really peek. He wasn't really overzealous with his peeking, and he only peeked when he needed to. And then after that utility was destroyed, the utility that was used to protect
10
him,
seconds remaining.
he rotated off of that and played somewhere else,
5
held a
seconds
different
left before
angle, and was
insertion.
able to just get like a bunch of kills to help his team. And I mean, there was a lot
Attackers
of
are
other
heading out to
players
defuse a bomb.
that were insane. You said it before, Joker absolutely crazy shots. They're now on match point. Nice Gaming. What looked to be a lifeline for Hyferion5 now, they're 2 rounds away from making this an overtime for themselves. And I mean, can they do this? Do you think?
I want to have faith in them. I think they've played brilliantly. Not outside of their cafe defenses, they played brilliantly. Chalet played very well. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't want to be a non-believer, but I think Nice Gaming, this should be the end of that weird confusion that they've had on their defenses. And now that they've found that round, they've broken that streak, I think that's where you start to see them just start to reset, start to play, like air quotes, properly. But we'll have to wait and see how this roam plays out. I believe he's been spotted out, and, well, Gecko's going to just remove him from the table before anything dangerous can occur. That was a ballsy play to try and hold on tight there, but the roam clear very clean from Hyferion5, and yeah, it's a little bit of a dodgy spot to be sat in.
I saw that in like slow motion. That was unintentional for the stream. That in slow motion, but it was nice nonetheless to see it. That was a clean shot actually from Gecko. That's also the top floor control given swiftly to Hyferion5, because if you haven't been watching, I'm gonna tell you what's going on. The kitchen defense, kitchen for both of these teams, the vertical holds from either one of these teams has been sorely lacking. And you see it right here. I mean, you only had one player in Joker on Nice Gaming roaming on his top floor with no trade value. And I mean, there should have been a trade right there, but he's actually taken out by Divine. A wonderful job of the well, masterclass bug plays. I'm a sucker for good bug plays, and he not only is he getting the picks, but he's also setting up these vertical angles for his teammates, and he's making these defenders panic on sight, which is what you want from a Buck, because Buck is a scary operator. You want to put fear into the hearts of the players that are playing the fight.
Big thing here, though, is that there are only 30 seconds, and they're clearly setting themselves up for this hatch drop. We know that they're going to walk onto this bomb chassis. This toxic babes coming out from BMY, though, is the critical part of this hold. Autumn, though, the drop's going to happen. Prophet going to be able to use that concussive blast to disorientate the smoke, and, well, as they're trying to walk in, Garen holding tight on Coffee. That's the change that they needed. He's getting himself a triple kill from this position. It doesn't matter that smoke fell around him. He's holding on. 5 seconds on the clock. They're forced to go for this push. They're so uncomfortable, but Gecko, how are you going to make that work? How are you going to give up that position? The impact grenade isn't enough. He's trying to watch towards that freezer window. You need to watch towards his plan. He's going to be able to find the two of them. Oh my days! How do you choke that one? That went both ways too fast.
I'm gonna beat a hell out of this lobby.
I mean, that
Where was the cover?
you look away from the window and just let the maestro walk up.
Yeah.
Did such a good job. I mean,
What was
I
that?
don't know how they recovered. They literally got the plant down at 0 seconds. They literally got down at 0 seconds. That shouldn't be allowed. But whew, that was a climactic end to what looked like a somewhat certain set of games on Cafe. There, I mean, the round count yo-yoing all over the place. You know, that each team took turns and had a good bit of win behind them, but ultimately, that's going to end up in a total tie. And both these teams taking home the map that they chose to take their opponent to. Hyferion5 taking home Chalet, and well, nice gaming taking home that cafe we just saw. I mean, 1B, any thoughts to just summarize the series we just witnessed?
I mean, that last round was a quick summary of everything that happened. Just a cluster screw up of just almost every round. Every time it looked like it was going to be an advantage of one team, somehow they screw it
Yeah.
up and it goes the opposite way. And I mean, that last round, I can't remember who it was. I think it was it a Flores? Was it a Flores?
Mm,
I know it was Ayana. Ayana was planting, and then I know Ayana is played by Autumn
yeah.
on Hyferion5. But if it was the Flores, then that means that was Stizzy. And I have to ask the question of why why did he think it was a good idea to pull off of that window? Because there's only
Yeah,
one way
that's
the maestro can go. If he decides to rotate all the way out of like what that side pantry room into bakery into small bakery, I mean
mm,
that's not something that the maestro would do. He's going to try and stop the plant at any
yeah.
rate possible. And it's very curious as to why the player who was supposed to be covering the planner is moving off of the window that's watching the roads. I just, you know what?
It's
It's
always
not.
tough. It's
It's
always
tough.
tough because the problem there is that that freezer window is the first place that we saw him. He swung it. He just pre-fired it. It's gonna be hit. It ultimately just didn't quite work out at the end there for Hyferion5. Couldn't mount the comeback that they started. But you know what? Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. It's been, well, two very hectic, chaotic, and both of these teams have had their fair share of taking control and putting the other team in their place, and it just ended out that they'd each get to win a map, which is always lovely, and Hyferion5 continue their trend of claiming draws. But you know what? I've had a lovely time. So thank you very much for joining me here for this one, 1B. It's been an absolute blast of a series. Thank you,
Yeah.
as always, to Yele behind the camera, sorting out the observing, keeping us tuned on what's going on. Thank you very much. But you know what? It's been a lovely return after a wonderful Christmas, New Year, winter break. And I can't wait to see a little bit more of what's coming for these teams in the coming weeks as we start to make our way towards the end of the season. But you'll have to wait until our next Playday to find out what happens next. I believe, if I can pull it up real quick, apologies for this, the next game that will be played is going to be... I can't find it now. Oh, it's going to be Baker Boys versus Ignite, I believe. That's going to be tomorrow night. So make sure you're back at the same time once again. That's 8 o'clock CET to see how that one's going to break down. But until then, it's been a lovely evening. Wumby, any closing thoughts you want to share with us before we say goodnight to the viewers at home?
Not a well, there could be a better game tomorrow, but that was a really good game to start off the split or well the second half of the season. And I mean, Happy New Year's, everyone out there who supports Talent League, and thank you guys, crew, supporters alike. We love you all. I love you all. Thank you.
Uh,
But that's about the only thing I have to say. I cannot wait for next week, or actually tomorrow as well.
yeah. Well, until then, thank you very much for joining us and enjoy your evening.